Hello and welcome to Markets Forward. This is your go-to show where we aim to get you all of the key data points that you need to gear up for the next trading day. And of course, we tell you about the key highlights that transpired on this day as well. I'm Surabhi Upadhyay, and as always, with me is my colleague Nigel D'Souza. Hi, Nigel.
Well, Surabhi, the bulls, they came back today and they live to fight another day, particularly from the broader markets. And today it was that sort of a day after the kind of bombed out day that you had yesterday. You wanted to see some green on the screen, and you did have some green on the screen. Let's run you through a couple of data points then. The Nifty and the Nifty Bank, both of them went down to the 50 DMA, but beautifully they bounced off that. And we made this point earlier this morning as well. Though the GIFT Nifty was suggesting that we pull back to kickstart, we said that if the 50 DMA can be defended, then we'll see a bit of a bounce. And that's precisely the way it played out. Though the 20 DMA, that remains elusive on both the Nifty as well as on the Nifty Bank. Why did the Nifty bounce today, though? To give you a few reasons, well, the PCR came to the lower end of the range, came to around 0.65, and normally we have been seeing, evidence tells us that if you come to 0.65, you normally see a bounce of that. That's precisely what happened. There were shorts that were added by the FIs, which isn't such a bad thing. I keep making this point. When there are shorts in the system, it provides as a bit of a cushion, because if there is some kind of pullback, then they're forced to get squeezed out. And the third factor is you have the FTSE rebalance that will be taking place tomorrow as well. So maybe in the run-up to that, there was some bit of a rejig that did take place. But the real positive should be today was the advanced decline ratio. For the last many sessions, you had more number of stocks that were declining in comparison to the number of stocks advancing. 4, 6, 22. Whoa, this time it was turned around. 4 stocks advancing for 1 stock that's declining. And that explains why your portfolio is feeling good today, Surabhi.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and today, if you look at it, if you look at the same indices that were literally bleeding red yesterday, today they were up and about, and it was a very sharp pullback, which perhaps inspired a fair amount of confidence as well. So it wasn't, that's the advanced decline ratio. I mean, remember we kept saying that 2,000 declining stocks for the last so many sessions. Today it was on the upside. Let's pull up the Nifty mid cap, which was up 2%. But the bigger story was in the Nifty small cap and even in the micro cap, because the small cap index was surging over 3%. The micro cap index, now that one was up about 4%. So big sort of move coming back in a lot of these pockets. And another thing that perhaps added to some sense of confidence, or basically, eased out the nervousness, at least to an extent, was that PSU stocks, which is where a lot of retail investors have gone and participated in that big run, they came back, after the recent bruises that they have suffered. So lots of names, and I'm sure Vivek will tell us more about it, but the CPSE index was one of the best performers of the day. So let's get started and tell you what the lineup is looking like for the day. We'll start off with, of course, all the key movers and shakers and talk about, where all this green really happened. The stock of the day is actually Hindustan Copper. We will tell you why that stock was surging today, what the buzz is all about, and it's a bit global in nature. So getting to that in just a bit. Then, of course, we get to our popular segment, D-Street Chatter. We'll have Nimesh today focusing on Infosys, and he'll tell us what the buzz was around this one large cap IT stock. Last but not the least, as always, all the events to watch out for tomorrow's session. But let's kick it off with the movers and shakers of the day. We have Vivek with us for that. Vivek, so some green after a long time.
You're absolutely right. It felt good to look at the markets today across sectors, across a lot of the market cap ranges. Also, you did see quite a lot of green across the screen. So the first set of stocks, we have to talk about are actually the IT packs. So a lot of IT stocks today bounced back very sharply, and especially if you're looking at the broader end, some of the stocks, there's quite a bit of sharp up moves. Emphasis, Birlasoft ending higher by almost 5%. The next set of stocks that did quite well was, of course, the pharma pack. So while Natco Pharma was the top gainer on the Nifty Pharma Index, Ipca Labs, aided by the upgrade from HSBC, also gained over 4% today. The rest of other stocks, too, did quite well. Biocon also aided by the positive news of the divestment of certain brands to Eris Life Sciences. The next set of stocks today, and these are the stocks that actually saw the maximum price action, was the entire railway pack. Have a look at the price action over here. IRFC up over 13%, IRCON up over 12%, RVNL, RailTel, as well as RITES, all of these stocks doing very well in the session. The next set of stocks, you alluded to them, are focusing on PSUs, from the slightly broader end of the market. So look at names like LHV and NHPC. These stocks saw quite a bit of price damage in the last couple of trading sessions, but today a lot of them bounced back significantly. Now talking about the individual stocks that did quite well, the first stock has to be IRB Infra. IRB Infra today, just prior to market open, indicated that there had been a deal that had taken place in its private InvIT. Analysts started ascribing a valuation of IRB's stake in that private InvIT, and on the back of that, the stock ended by 9%. We're also talking about Yes Bank. While news reports indicated that the bank itself could be up for grabs, company clarified saying, as of this point of time, it's actually speculation. But despite that, the stock ended higher by over 11%. The next set, if you're looking at the stocks, or the sectors that underperformed in what was essentially a very good trading session, was the private banks. Private banks, despite a lot of flows coming in tomorrow, some of these names saw quite a bit of weakness. So names like Axis, Indusin still managed to end in the red today. Gensol Engineering, the next stock that we'll talk about, this particular stock now down, 22% in the last 4 trading sessions, down over 40% from its recent peak. And lastly, NMDC, something we highlighted in the morning, iron ore prices continue to remain weak and the stock continued to witness selling pressure even in a strong market.
Fabulous, Vivek. Thanks a lot for joining in fact, giving us all those stocks that were moving around today. But let's welcome our guests on the show as well. We have market expert Amrish Paliga who joins us, as well as Shilpa Rod of Prabhudas Lilladhar. Hi, lady and gentlemen, and thanks so much for joining in. Shilpa, you go first. The Nifty and the Nifty Bank, both of them went down. They tested that 50-day MA, but what a beautiful recovery you got today. Do you think that both the two headline indices, they have enough firepower to go for more? Because both of them went to the 20-day MA, but they couldn't give it the knockout punch. Your take?
Yes, I believe that, this sort of, the sustenance that we saw today after the massive bleeding yesterday, I believe, this shows that the market is ready to be bought into any sort of major dips that we witnessed. So the 22,000 zones was a good support. That is where we saw that support coming in, and we saw that Nifty moving again towards 22,200 to 300 zones. For Bank Nifty, again, we saw 46,500 is holding on very, very strongly. Till we hold this, I believe we can do again 48,000 levels. So for Nifty, I believe that the one, another round of a very strong rally towards 22,000 will happen very soon. After that, maybe, we might see a very elongated market where you will see that sideways moving up.
Okay, all right, got that, Shilpa. Well, Amrish, coming across to you, I want to ask you your view on Hindustan Copper, because that's the stock of the day. So Hindustan Copper, remember, is the only pure play on copper prices, which hit its highest levels in the last 7 months or so at around $8,800 per ton. With the New York copper prices hitting the highest we've seen in 16 months, and the Shanghai copper hitting the highest in 2 years odd. The prices have surged, particularly in the past 1 month, as well as in the past week as well. Now, copper inventory in warehouses rose steeply as of March in comparison to the beginning of 2024. While LME inventories are down 30% since December, and it's at its lowest levels you have seen since August. Now, 15 Chinese smelters have agreed on joint production cut due to losses, and 11.5% smelter capacity monitored was inactive in January as well as February. This is because processing fees for copper concentrate in China, they've fallen to decadal lows. Now, falling copper concentrate, TC points to a sharp tightening of the market in the near term. This has mine disruptions at Codelco are impacting prices. So put all this together, copper prices are getting some support. There is only one pure play copper on copper prices here, and that's Hindustan Copper. Amrish, what do you make of this stock? It went dancing away to around 300 rupees odd. Then it fell to around 230, and today it saw a bit of a bounce. The problem is valuation is very, very difficult to justify it. Even Absolutely. If you take, that 3 rupees EPS moving to 5 rupees, still the stock will be trading at close to around 60 times. But the street believes copper is going to be used in the time to come. They're saying there's going to be a deficit. And if that's the case, then Hindustan Copper will benefit. Your take at around 260 rupees?
This is what normally happens for any commodity, and especially a commodity like copper, which is not really widespread like steel. You'll see these moves being quite sharp. And right now, because of shortage, because of closure of various smelters, we have seen the prices moving up. But then these prices don't move up in one direction for a too long a period. So for the time being, yes, I think this is extremely positive for Hindustan Copper. So we could see the stock moving up. I'll not be surprised if we again see the recent highs of over 300. It can possibly go to 300, 320 based on this news. But, should we be investing at this point of time? I would say no. I think it's a good trading bet. Take that 40, 50 rupees sort of a move. Take that and move out, because these are cyclical stocks. Because tomorrow something happens, like if you have a couple of these smelters again coming back on stream, you will see Hindustan Copper again back to those levels of 200, 220 levels.
Okay, got that. Amrish, that's Hindustan Copper. Stay on. We'll have more questions for you in just a bit. Let's also talk about the second stock in focus, which was really standing out today, and that was Ipca Laboratories. Now, Ipca spiked about 4% on the back of a bullish note coming in from HSBC. Now, this brokerage has upgraded the stock to a buy, as they see notable margin expansion going forward. We have Nimesh joining in with more details. Nimesh, so I guess the market really took note of this HSBC forecast for Ipca.
Well, looks like, the stock ended at day's high on the back of a big upgrade coming in from HSBC. So today they upgrade the stock to buy from neutral, and they've raised the target price to 1335. Now, HSBC says that they expect Ipca to see notable improvement in margin expansion on the back of healthy growth in the focus areas, which is India and UK, and also on easing cost pressures. Now, HSBC is building in an EBITDA improvement of 470 basis points and 50% PAT CAGR over FY24 to FY26. In fact, they see the supply to the US market as the next big catalyst for the stock to outdo from here on. They've also mentioned a couple of risk factors. One includes a continued slowdown in the India market, and two, there could be adverse developments in the global market, in the exports market, largely on back of currency depreciation, or for that matter, supply disruptions. But given the valuations, given the risk reward, HSBC has today upgraded the stock to a buy, and they've raised the target price now to 1335 on Ipca Laboratories.
Okay, got that. So that was Ipca in focus as well. Let's move on, Nimesh. Thanks very much for that. Let's move on. PSU stocks reversed most of yesterday's losses. Hormaz is here with the latest moves. Never a dull day in the PSU universe, is there, Hormaz?
When there is PSUs, there is action, and we lost 6 lakh crores yesterday. We recovered almost 3.5 lakh crores today, and that is the result of which the Nifty PSE index also did very well in today's trading session. So almost 50% of the market cap that you lost yesterday was recovered in today's trading session. NHPC was the top gainer on the PSE index. It lost almost 10% yesterday. It gained almost 10% today, so recovering everything that it lost. I wanted to single out a particular sector, and that has been the railways. That has always been the standout sector whenever we talk about PSUs. Most of the stocks that ended lower yesterday ended up gaining more than what they lost. If you take a look at IRFC, down 9% yesterday, gaining almost 12% today, and Railtel, Ircon, RVNL gaining anywhere between 10 to 12% in today's trading session, having lost a similar quantum yesterday as well. So a good day for railway stocks. Although on a if you take a look at a broader range, almost on a 5-day basis, they were down for almost 4 to 5 days. They're still lower on that front, but they have managed to recover most of the losses that they made yesterday. Another sector I wanted to single out was shipbuilders, and that was Garden Reach and Cochin Shipyard. They have not recovered everything that they lost yesterday, but most of the losses as well. Garden Reach was down almost, both of them were down around 10 to 11% in yesterday's trading session, and have gained almost 5 to 10% in today's session as well. So overall, a good day for the PSUs, recovering most of what they lost yesterday.
Never a dull moment with regard to the PSUs, and never a dull moment when Hormuz has something to give us as well. Thanks a lot, Hormuz, for joining in and filling us in with all of those data points, including the bounce back from the PSUs. Well, Amrish, I didn't get your take on Ipca. Nimesh joined in and told us about that big brokerage note. What's your view on the stock?
No, I mean, my view on the stock is positive, and I think recently, I think 2 or 3 days back, we had some promoter entities of Ipca buying the shares in the market. So I think that clearly shows the point that I mean, the stock should move up from here. I mean, if you see the last 1 year, it's been a steady move up. So I think we should see either 15 to 18% further move from here over the next couple of months.
Okay, all right, got that. So that is a view on Ipca. I just want to sort of go back to Shilpa for a quick word on PSUs as well. Shilpa, given the price volatility that we've seen, just looking at technicals in the charts, where do you think the uptrends are still intact on this wide basket of PSUs? I mean, is it the banks, is it the railway stocks? How do they look after the volatility that we've seen?
I believe the railway stocks are much better placed again, and we see that the movement is coming very strong in stocks like even IRCTC. In the F&O packet is looking so strong from now. You can see 980 to 990 levels again happening. The Railtel, the counter having strong support at 300. It can also do 370, 390 from here. So the pack is looking very, very strong. I believe these couple of stocks in this pack again are very well placed for a 10 to 15% up.
Okay, got that. Shilpa and Amrish, thank you very much for being with us and giving us some perspective on the market. I look forward to having you on the show again soon. With that, let's bring out some of the corporate voices of the day. Adani Wilmar is in focus. Anshu Malik, the MD and CEO of the company, said that they are seeing good growth in the fourth quarter and their branded edible oil segment has seen double-digit growth for the first time. He added that their food and FMCG sales volume will grow between 15 to 18% from 10% growth at present. Meanwhile, Nalin Gupta, MD at J. Kumar Infra Projects, said that with the current order book size becoming $1 billion in terms of total company revenue by FY27 is quite realistic. He added that with the current revenue consumption, he is expecting to achieve a target of 15% by FY24 over FY23. Gopal Snacks made a weak debut on Dalal Street by listing at 12% discount. Raj Haldwani, CEO of Gopal Snacks, said that the industry growth rate is over 10% and they will grow better than the industry.
Well, and the market made a smart recovery with the broader market leading the gains after 3 days of a sell-off. Raj Balkrishnan, Managing Director and Company Head Investment Banking of Bank of America, says that India has been the best performing market globally. He also went down to add that yes, there's been a lot of selling, but he believes that proves that Indian market has a lot of debt. Let's hear him out.
If you look at the Indian market, be it on a 3-month basis or 1-year basis or 5-year basis or 10-year basis, it's delivered returns superior to virtually every market in the world. Even on a dollar-adjusted basis over the last decade, barring the US market, we are probably the best performing market in the world. So the fact is that the Indian economy is looking good, Indian markets are looking good. And, you know, a phase of if there's a correction for a week or two or even a couple of months, I don't think that changes the underlying trend. I think this year is going to see many more larger IPOs. And I would expect the total funds raised through IPOs this year to be significantly more than last year. Similarly, in terms of QIPs, last year was a great year for QIPs as well as for block trades. And I think I continue to see that trend continuing this year.
Well, time to slip into a short break. But on the other side, we'll get to our popular segment, D Street Chatter, along with all the key market events you need to track for tomorrow. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're tuned into Markets Forward. Well, it's that time of our show when we get you D Street Chatter. Nimesh joins us to get us an insight into the dealing room chatter. Nimesh, what's on your radar today?
Hi, Nigel. It's a sharp recovery from an extremely oversold position. So, need to see whether this momentum can continue in the next few days. But in terms of individual names, the first stock on my list today is Sundaram Clayton. The stock was marginally under pressure, but there's a very large block. 7% equity got changed hands. I understand the promoter entry was a seller in today's block and a leading HNI investor and a few domestic mutual funds were buyers. So, disclosures will be important there. The second name is Infosys. That's been buzzing on very strong buy flows. Expect high delivery volumes and looks like the FI interest is back as far as that particular name is concerned. The third stock is PTC India. That stock was buzzing into it today. High volumes from larger HNIs, and all eyes will be in the EGM on 28th, where there could be approval for the sale of their subsidiary business. So that's something to track. And the last name is BLS International. That stock got locked at 20% upper circuit, large volumes as well. And I understand a leading FI investor was a buyer in today's volumes, and hence that stock ended at 20% higher.
Okay, all right, got that. Thank you very much, Nimesh, for all the buzz from the dealing rooms. Before we wrap out today, let's bring you all of the key events that you need to watch out for tomorrow. Abhishek is there with the list.
Well, Surbi, to begin with, U.S. jobless claims will come out today. So the estimate is about 218,000 versus 217,000 in the previous time that they had given out. Also, watch out for IEA oil market report with respect to, the estimate of production and demand going ahead. In terms of, India, watch out tomorrow. RBI will give out the Forex reserve data. And in terms of stock, particular Gujarat Ambuja export bonus issue 1:1 ratio tomorrow. Interim dividend will be given out by IIFL Securities, Kirloskar Ferrous, as well as SBI Life. EGM will be held tomorrow with respect to Angel One for getting a fundraising approval. They will look to, raise their authorized capital level as well. Another thing to watch out will be Vector's Food Investor Day tomorrow. So what outcome will be seen from there, and what guidance management does give out, that will be seen closely. Mutual fund stress test tomorrow. Result of the first round will be out tomorrow. So we need to watch out for that. And tomorrow is the deadline for various services of Paytm Payments Bank, which will be ending accepting deposits or, giving out fresh, loans or banking services of various kinds. That will come to an end tomorrow. Back to you.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Abhishek, for that. Well, Nigel, I don't know about others or you. My Paytm deadline expired, I think, a day earlier at one of the toll plazas in the city. So, yeah, that's already happening.
Better buck up and get things changed.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, on that note, though, we'll wrap up on this edition of Markets Forward. We'll be back with more news and updates on the other side.